Imam Ali alayhi salam. Regardless whether they are Sunni or Shiite, Muslims revere and love Imam Ali alayhi salam as the cousin and son-in-law of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Sunnis regard him as the fourth of the rightly guided caliphs or Khulafa al-Rashidun. The Shia consider him the first of the immaculate Imams or Aimma al-Tahir, and the Sufis of all the major orders trace their chains of initiation to him. According to the 5th Hijri or 11th Gregorian century Sufi author of the first Persian text on Sufism, Ali ibn Uthman Hujwiri, his renown and rank in this path of Sufism were very high. He explained the principles or usul of divine truth with exceeding subtlety, so that Junaid said, Ali alayhi salam is our sheikh as regards the principles and as regards the endurance of affliction. That is, in the theory and practice of Sufism, for Sufis call the theory of this path principles or usul, and its practice consists entirely in the endurance of affliction. This question is connected with the severance of the heart from all things save God, who keeps his servants in whatever state he willeth. Ali alayhi salam is a model for the Sufis in respect to the truths of outward expressions and the subtleties of inward meanings. The stripping of one's self of all property, either of this world or of the next, and the consideration of the divine providence. Later in this text, when Hujwiri seeks to explain knowledge of God or marifat of Allah, which Nicholson translates as gnosis, he again mentions Imam Ali alayhi salam. When the commander of the faithful Ali alayhi salam was asked concerning gnosis, he said, I know God by God, and I know that which is not God by the light of God. Imam Ali alayhi salam is also lavishly praised by the great 6th/12th century Sufi poet Attar, who, after praising the virtues of the first three caliphs, says, Were there an Imam from east to west, it would be the commander of the faithful Haydar alayhi salam. With the thrust of his lance, he conquered this present world. The tale of the 3 loaves passed beyond the other world. He was initiated in the mysteries of giving, and the 17 verses of Quran are devoted to the 3 loaves. Those 3 round loaves were like the discs of the sun and the moon, and therefore like the moon and the sun, he entertains the 2 worlds at his table for all eternity. If thou be continually showered with arrows, it is sufficient to know that the love of Ali alayhi salam is a shield. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam said to him, O light of my eyes, we were both created from one light. Since Ali alayhi salam is of one light with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, they are as one person with no trace of duality. As gate to the city of knowledge, his is with good reason the gatekeeper of paradise. So absolutely was he given over to poverty that he was irrevocably divorced from gold and silver. Though silver and gold were highly valued, they were as a calf to the people of Ali. How could a calf ever have dared to match itself against a lion such as he? It is related that he had a coat of armor of which the front and the back was simply a window. If his back was as exposed as his face, it was because he depended upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam as his armor. He said once, Though I should be slain, none shall see my back on the battlefield. If thou became the dust beneath his feet, this is an excellent place of refuge, for he is both the father of the handsome one and the father of dust. He said, If by God's command I was set up in a pulpit and given the office of judge, I should always judge between the peoples of the world in accordance with the 4 books. Whatever he said, he uttered out of the sea of certainty. One day he opened his mouth and said, "If the covering were uncovered, assisted me. Otherwise, how would I worship him without seeing him? Hurrah for that one eye, that knowledge and those words. Hurrah for the son of the law, that swelling sea." The breath of the Lion of God penetrated to China. Because of his knowledge, the musk deer produced the musk in its navel. Therefore it is that they say, "If thou art just and pious, go from Yathrib to China in the search for knowledge." Leo is the navel of the house of the sun, hence the pure musk in the breath of the musk deer. But I am wrong. I speak not of the musk of Cathay, but of that produced by the Lion of God. Were his knowledge to take the form of a sea, the Black Sea would be but a single drop in it. He could not endure to be in debt. Therefore he hired himself to a Jew. Someone said to him, "Why hast thou done this?" He was angry, and wielding his tongue like a sword, he answered, "I had rather remove rocks from mountain tops than be in the debt of men. They say to me, 'It is shameful to work for one's living.' But I say, it is shameful to stoop so low as to beg." Some of the most famous Sufi poetry in praise of Imam Ali alayhi salam, however, is by Maulavi Jalal ad-Din Rumi. At the end of the first daftar of the Matnavi, over the course of almost 300 couplets, Rumi repeatedly returns to the virtues of Imam Ali alayhi salam. There is too much to be directly quoted here, so I'll just mention some of the major themes. The section on Ali alayhi salam begins with the words, "From Ali alayhi salam, learn purity or sincerity of action. Know that the Lion of Truth was purified of deceit." Rumi has Ali alayhi salam describe his servitude to God as so complete that he was free from the demands of the passions. "I have removed the baggage of self out of the way. I have deemed what is other than haqq or truth to be nothing." He was thus able to make himself into a complete instrument of God. Imam Ali alayhi salam was not only recognized by Sufis in poetry and in their chains of authorization or silsilah, he was also recognized as a model of virtue by the brotherhoods associated with various crafts that emphasized futuwat or chivalry. The term futuwat derives from fatah, a young man, and was associated with selflessness, courage, generosity, and honor. Of Ali alayhi salam it is narrated that the angels cried, "There is no youth or hero like Ali alayhi salam. There is no sword like the Dulfiqar." One who seeks to emulate Ali alayhi salam with regard to futuwat should manifest valor and self-sacrifice in the path of God and his friends. He should consider his wealth, reputation, and even his very life as insignificant. For the Sufis, or Urafa, the 2 edges of the sword of Ali are dhikr and fikr, that is, remembrance and contemplation of God.